Welcome to my dad's podcast. It is called Up and Adam. Oh, and my mom's on it too.
All right, well, against my better judgment, this is episode 8, I believe, of the Up and Adam podcast with Stephanie.
Hi.
Hi, Stephanie.
I still don't get why you have to put the episode number.
That way, if people are listening in, if for some reason you're binge listening, which either means you're hospitalized, because I don't know why you would do that to yourself. That way you kind of know, like, if there's anything sequentially that you need to work on.
Oh, I see.
Or else, what are you going to call the show? Like, as we tape this right now, I don't yet have the name of the show figured out.
So it's I can't, Up and Adam?
Well, the title of the particular episode. Hi. So I don't yet know that until the show ends. You do know I make that name up, right? It doesn't just appear.
Yeah, but I don't usually pay attention to the title.
All right. Well, why would you? Hopefully somebody else out there pays attention to the title. We're back, episode 8-ish. Episode 7, not our strongest effort ever. So really had to do some arm twisting for this next episode to come about.
Well, after I got in trouble for episode 7,
what do you mean
not
you
being
got in
very
trouble?
Good.
It wasn't. I wasn't blaming it all on you.
Yes, you were.
I was just saying
I was not prepared.
It wasn't our best. Well, a good thing is you were in here taking a diligent amount of notes on a Post-it note. So I can't wait for all the notes that you crammed into that Post-it note there. That's effort. That's research.
Yes, one whole Post-it note.
And you took my pen to make those notes. So as we're starting the show, Stephanie's got her Post-it note out here, and she's got, I don't know, what looks like 7 or 8 words written on that paper. So I can't wait for this. And she's like, can I have a pen? And I'm like, no, actually, you can't have a pen. You know why? Because this is the office that we record in. And for some reason, Stephanie feels the need to come in here and do her work sometimes, as if she doesn't have the rest of the entire house to herself every day to do her work in any other workspace. She decides to come in here. And it's just a ritual, I guess. When you come in here and do your work, you leave with a pen. You don't come in with a pen, apparently, but you leave with one. Correct. And those are my pens.
But to clarify, we moved to this house for the office for me to work in.
I don't find that to be the least bit true.
And you took it over.
I don't find that to be the least bit true. Well, okay, fine. Use the office, but bring your own freaking pen with you. And leave mine on your way out. Like, all the pens that I had are all, like, sitting on the counter in there because you take them with you because you have no concept for... Anyway, hey, this is going to be a good one.
We can share.
We can share. Well, can I borrow one of your pens?
Yeah, I'll go get it.
Go get you pen over here and bring it to me. What do you say? This is going to be a fun one today, friends. I don't know what we have on the show today. We have a couple of stories to go over. We did get some feedback on last week's episode around vacations, and people are asking if we've figured anything out with vacations. Stephanie's continued to keep the research strong. Your research is always good when it comes to spending money.
Yes, and you still have not given me the thumbs up for any of my research.
I have not. No. I mean, I think there's a timing element. We're going to look at some timing things here and see what happens. I got some work stuff I got to do out of town, so we got to work on that. Jimmy, our guy Jimmy from Indiana, came in and also said that we might want to look at Cabo.
I want to go to Cabo.
Well, where don't you want to go?
But can we take kids to Cabo?
Apparently, there's a kid-friendly section of Cabo.
Okay.
I'm not familiar. I don't know if others have been to Cabo. It's certainly... There's an area where you could do certain things if that's what you want to do, but there's also a kid-friendly section of Cabo.
Okay, and do we need a passport?
I think so.
Well, that's not going to work.
I think you might. I'm not sure.
I think when I looked it up, it was recommended if you were flying to have one, but if you were driving into Mexico, you didn't need a passport.
Well, we're not driving.
No, we're not.
So I'll have to any passport experts out there. Get at us. Let us know what we need from us.
Because otherwise, we're not going to Cabo this summer.
This summer?
Oh, we can go eventually.
Well, anyway, we don't have a vacation spot planned out. We're very much in the same boat that we were in last time. Steph's just dying to get out and spend some money in someplace. I am still a little reluctant.
I'm not dying to spend the money. It's that we're running out of time to book things before they get more expensive.
Well, then, if those options are expensive, perhaps we just find a less expensive option. It isn't as though all vacations are being shut down at a certain date. We just might have to, do something a little different. That's all.
Okay. But things get booked up, and then there are none to do.
Yeah.
You know I'm a planner.
Is that what you are?
I'm a very big planner.
I was there. I had a few words to call you. Planner was not one of them, but that's fine.
You're supposed to be nice.
I didn't say anything mean there, though.
I know what you're inferring.
Well, that's your own problem. You're making assumptions, and I can't help you there.
All right, you say so.
Anything else you want to clean up and clarify from the last episode of this?
No, just everybody help me out and tell Adam that we have to go on vacation.
I don't need help. Okay, great. I don't need help telling me to go on vacation. If you want to start a GoFundMe and you want to go on vacation that way, I'm all in for that. Yeah, but I don't need help to convince me to go do something fun. I'd like to make a couple of decisions first, and then once we kind of have those decisions made, we can figure out if vacation makes sense for us and where that vacation spot might be.
Okay.
All I ask for is time, and all you want to do is book like now.
Yeah, because at least the hotels you can cancel for free. But then we still get the lower rate, and we have our spot, and we don't have to worry about it.
How about when we put out a podcast what I need from you? You get me an episode where we get double the listens that we normally get, and I'll go on a vacation with you.
Oh, I might be able to do that.
You do it then. I'll show you the numbers. You can see the numbers. I'll give you an average of our previous 7 shows. And if you can get me double that average on any one episode here in the next 2 weeks, I don't know, this one maybe, then sure, I'll take you wherever you want to go.
Hawaii?
Wherever you want to go.
Oh, wow.
I mean, if you want to do some marketing, you want to do some promotion.
All right, people, help me out. Share it with all your friends.
Okay, well, great. Well, that should get them fired up. Well, let's go on a break right here because you're probably all fired up from all that stuff, and then we'll come back with whatever it is that Stephanie has on this post-it note. I know I can't wait.
My dad tells my mom what's going on in the world. This should go well.
All right, let's go through the news, Stephanie.
Okay.
All right, thanks. So there was a story recently. I think this is going to be a little fun. You don't know this is coming, which makes for the best content ever. So there was a viral post. You know what viral means?
Yeah.
Okay. There was a viral post recently, and it is a sociology professor who's older in age, and he's been keeping a spreadsheet of some phrases he's heard from his students and what they mean. And every semester he adds more to it. So kind of like slang terms.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll through some of these, and I want you to tell me what these things mean.
Oh,
let's see how hip you are, right? Let's see how connected you are. I'm going to roll through some of these phrases. Okay?
This could be bad.
It could be. And I want you to, if you can tell me what the definition is or what this means. Okay.
I usually have Addison next to me telling me what they mean.
Okay. So here's one. Ready? The phrase is pull up or come through. What does that mean?
Like start doing your work or get it done?
Okay. Pull up or come through. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Okay. It actually means an invitation. So for example, like come through my place this week. Like come over to my house. There we go.
Pull up or okay.
Yeah. What does put someone on mean?
Like put them on the spot?
Oh, okay. Well, is that what you think it means?
Sure.
So if I said, yeah, I'm gonna put you on this week.
Like it's gonna be your turn.
Kinda, yeah. There's 2 different options. One's like giving somebody an opportunity.
Okay.
The other one is just getting somebody like in rhythm, if you will, on point, like getting them up to speed on what's happening, right?
Okay.
Okay. What's a real one?
I don't know. What is it?
Man, no, that's the phrase. No, if I said, man, Jimmy from Indiana is a real one. You have any?
He's the real deal. Like he's genuine.
Okay. The correct answer is valid person and someone that you trust.
Genuine, is that?
I'll give it to you.
Equal? Okay.
What does run that mean?
Like I'm gonna run that. Like I'm gonna like do it the best I can.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna run that paper. I don't know.
I'm sorry. What?
You said it was a teacher.
Yeah, but these aren't in the context of teaching. Like this is just what. Okay. Run that. It's to take or to start is one option, right?
Okay.
But it also means to kind of own something, right? Like I'm gonna run that game. I'm gonna run that concert. I'm gonna run something. That kind of means that too. Okay. How about this one? Secure the bag. Do you have any idea what secure the bag means?
I'm gonna secure the bag.
Secure the bag.
Ooh. Get food?
No. Get food is not the right answer. Get money.
I kind of like that one.
So, I know you do. I know you do. All right, let's see. Here we go. What is hop off? You tell someone to hop off.
Like back off?
Okay. All right. Mind your own business.
Okay, I was close.
Mind your business. I'm dead.
Like you're in trouble.
No.
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Well, and it's funnier if you keep guessing. Actually, that's kind of how this works, but that's fine. That means that something was amusing. You find something funny. So when someone does something funny, you go, I'm dead.
Wow.
I've died from laughing because it's so funny.
I'm definitely old because I don't know any of these.
What if someone says, big mad? I am big mad about that.
Like, I'm really mad.
Very okay. Yeah, the word big can be used. Big facts. You know what big facts mean?
Big, like, a lot of facts?
Well, not a lot of facts. Just a really...
An important fact?
Yes. Yeah, it's an important fact. What about Nunya?
I have no idea on that one.
Nunya.
With an N?
Nunya. Nunya.
Wait, I think I heard about this on the radio.
It's possible. What radio were you listening to?
Ryan Seacrest?
Huh.
No.
It's possible that...
Does it have something to do with wanting to hook up?
Yeah, tell me more about it. What do you mean?
I think what I heard about was like that's the new word for people, like instead of like a booty call.
Okay. So instead of a booty call,
am I totally off?
I would be like, "Hey, Steph, I kind of want a Nunya."
Well, like I think people just text like Nunya. Am I totally wrong?
Yeah. Nunya means none of your business. But for those of you out there, if you want to start sending Nunya text to your significant others, trying to get a weekend situation hooked up, you can send that Nunya.
Okay, there is a new word out there that's the same as it.
I'll Google that in a second because that may be just gold as well. Slay. What does slay mean?
Like I'm gonna kill it. Like.
Okay. Are you gonna kill it? Okay.
I'm gonna like slay this workout. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna...
You do really well. Very good. Okay. Take the L. I'm gonna take the L.
Like plead the fifth?
No, not really.
I'm gonna take the loss.
Yeah, taking the loss, making a sacrifice of some sort. So you know what? I'm just gonna take the L on this one, and you're right. Let's move on. Okay. That ain't it.
Well, that's not it.
Well, what do you mean it's not it? What does that mean though? When someone says that ain't it?
That's not the right one.
Okay. Yeah. It basically means you disagree with something or something's wrong. Something that, you're just not happy with or something along those lines. You didn't do so well in that test.
Did you know all those before you read it?
I think I could, like, if you, do you want to quiz me here? I just Googled, top slang words of 2019. If you want to, you want to test me, I'm happy to,
all right, let's see.
Try. I don't know.
I want to know how many of you actually knew all of these.
Hey, Steph.
So that I don't look so.
Nunya. What do you say? We're going to pause.
It doesn't work for married people.
I can hit pause real quick.
All right.
Guess not.
Did you already read these, though?
I did not know.
I actually knew this one beforehand, but ratchet.
Something is a ratchet, right? It's crooked. It is not good.
No. If someone's ratchet, they're obnoxious, rude, or trashy.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that one. Okay.
Bae.
Like babe, girlfriend, boyfriend type situation. A significant other, a loved one.
You're close. It stands for before anyone else. So you're my bae. Oh. You're my special someone.
Okay. Well, but you would say that to somebody who's your special someone. Okay, that's fair.
And I just said it was.
Yeah.
You are my bae.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Aren't I your bae?
More than you know. More than the government allows.
Tea.
Gossip. Right.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
If you spill the tea about someone.
Yeah. It's like that Kermit the Frog meme where he's drinking a glass of tea and he says, I wouldn't know anything about that. None of my business,
What if I said, you're looking snatched? What does snatched mean?
I feel like it's not good. someone is looking snatched, they don't look good.
Opposite. It means you do look good.
Oh man,
you're close.
Yeah, not really. It was the exact opposite. It's actually the opposite of being close.
This is the last one.
Okay.
Goat.
Greatest of all time.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. See, all right. Well,
I would not have known the goat one.
You would have known goat?
No.
Oh man, goat's easy. Keep it 100. I would have known that one. Gucci, I would have known that one. You missed a lot of these. I could have done.
Well, I didn't want to go on forever.
That's because we have so much else to get to. We certainly don't want to keep our listeners waiting. So you didn't fare so well on that. Maybe each week on the show, I'll introduce you to a new slang word, and we'll see if you can use it in a sentence.
Okay.
All right.
I thought you were going to say I should try and use it throughout the week.
Or if you want to do that, if you want to let us know how it goes, well then, so I need a slang word for you. Oh, let me give you a slang word for this week. Something good. Let's see here.
It's not bae.
If you want to use bae.
I'm just kidding.
All right, well, I think you. Do you want to know something you don't know what it means, or something you do know what it means?
Well, are you going to tell me what it means?
I'll tell you what it means.
Okay.
Your phrase this week is on point.
Okay.
You know what that means?
It means like you're on track. You got it. You're doing good.
Doing good. Okay. So can you use it in a sentence?
You're on point to.
All right. This is going well. Like you might say something like, "Hey, that outfit's on point."
Okay.
Hey, that dinner last night was on point.
We will never say that to me.
What, the dinner? Well, so we should update other people, by the way. So it's either on point, or you can use this one too, thirsty. You know what thirsty means?
I assume it doesn't mean that you're thirsty.
Depends on how you want to look at it.
Like you need more of something.
It's a descriptor of somebody. Thirsty means that somebody's desperate.
Oh. So
they're desperate for something. Like, man, she's thirsty for a boyfriend. Something like that.
Okay.
Or he's thirsty for a girlfriend. I should make sure, hashtag me too. All right. So your job this week is to use one of those two in a sentence, and you need to come back next week and describe the interaction to us.
So it was thirsty and on point?
Thirsty and on point. I'd prefer you say thirsty, just personally.
Okay.
But you can also be like, hey, everybody, I have to use a slang term every week, so I'm going to use thirsty. You can't do it that way.
Okay.
You got to be in a sentence, and someone's like, Steph, did you going to this place this week? I don't know, man. They usually have behind the counter. Those ladies are so thirsty. Like, I need something like that versus, you just trying to tell everybody you need to use a word.
Got it.
Great.
Now, you said something like we need to go back.
Oh, yeah. So you mentioned your cooking. So we have, if you remember the Bleep show that was last week, we had talked about doing the A-Rod J-Lo challenge. I think you've decided not to do that.
I don't think I can.
You don't think you can, but we have decided to do a little bit of a healthy eating situation, of which you're trying to prepare and cook and provide healthier meals. So it's been a week since we started this. How do you feel about sort of the journey you've been on thus far?
I'm hungry.
You're thirsty?
No.
You're thirsty for food is what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
So I think I've done pretty well.
Okay.
But I haven't gotten rid of my cravings. But I know that takes like 3 weeks.
3 weeks for cravings. Okay.
They say 21 days to form a habit.
That is true. What's the thing that you're craving the most?
Sugar.
Any kind of sugar?
Chocolate mainly.
So having said that, great. I'm glad you brought this up because last night was almost a divorce night for me. So I was with this little dietary phenomenon that we're on right now. What the premise is eating healthy throughout the week, and then one little cheat meal. Typically, you can pick any night. We've decided Saturdays would be our cheat nights, right? And so last night you decided we went out and had a little cheat dinner, which mine wasn't really all that, but I think you enjoyed yours. Mm-hmm. And afterwards, you want to stop and pick up some dessert, right?
Yes.
And so you just said chocolate was one thing that you crave. Can you share with our audience the fiasco that you selected for your dessert last evening?
Okay, I did not choose chocolate, but Adam is so disgusted. I chose it's called a tart, like a fruit tart. And so it is like a pie crust with, what do you call it? Custard. And then it has fruit on top.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
I don't understand.
It was like pie.
But it's not like pie.
It was basically pie. Pie has fruit and crust. Mine just had a little bit of extra custard in it.
What had all that stuff on top? Like,
It was
fruit.
fruit.
What are you doing eating that? I don't want.
Semi-healthy. I had fruit.
So your cheat meal, you're going semi-healthy.
No, I just happened to have the fruit.
It just happened. Yeah, it was the most repulsive thing I've ever seen.
He was so upset. And wait, what did you pick to eat?
I didn't have anything. I decided I wasn't going to have
you
a
had
dessert.
chips and salsa.
So I was like, I really want to crave some chips and salsa. You know, it's Cinco de Mayo weekend. And by the way, if there's anyone listening to this show and you refer to Cinco de Mayo as Cinco de Drinko, just stop listening right now because we can't be friends.
Why? You like to drink?
I do, but just don't call it that, like Cinco de Drinko. And everyone thinks it's so like creative. I have a real big problem with like yesterday was annoying. So yesterday was Saturday, May 4th. You know what you heard all day long?
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Like, that's not creative. It's not funny. I don't even understand it. And then you same people out there today with the Cinco de Drinko stuff.
I never heard the Cinco de Drinko.
Well, I'm not surprised you haven't heard the Cinco de Drinko. You don't know what half the words in life mean. So I'm not surprised you've never heard of Cinco de Drinko. But somebody on this, on listening to this,
has probably saying it right now.
Has said it, wrote it today in a post someplace, you know, try to be clever and creative and called it that. It's not funny.
Okay.
I have a big problem with people who think they're funny, but they're not really funny.
But you think everybody thinks they're funny and they're not really funny.
I don't know that that's true. Just Cinco de Drinko person just doesn't need to be listening to the show.
We might have just lost some listeners.
Well, you're gonna give me double, right? And so I'm not really worried about it because you're gonna recoup the amount of listeners that we're supposed to have. So I'm super excited about that. So that's the eating part of our lives. I guess we'll keep you updated week over week here.
Yeah, I think I'll still be hungry next week. We're going for 3 weeks.
Thirsty?
Yeah, thirsty.
Okay.
We're going for 3 weeks, and we'll see how we do. Adam, of course, can lose 9 pounds in 4 days.
Yeah.
I only lost 3.
That happens.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, you're gonna be all right though. Yeah, but I also gained 5 pounds. I'm like looking at the donut, so it's not really.
True.
It evens.
I only have 5 pounds that I'm trying to lose, so not that bad.
Okay. Well, good to know. All right. So, you have a news story you wanted to also talk about this week, Stephanie. So I do want to give ample time for that Post-it note. I'm gonna take a live picture of this Post-it note while we're recording
You're
here.
not allowed.
I'm just gonna make sure everyone understands the level of research Stephanie has done here for the show.
Did you get my face in that?
No.
Oh, good.
And by no, I mean yes. So while you talk, I'm gonna post that on our Facebook page. Go ahead. You start talking.
All right. So there was a article this weekend about how Kylie Jenner threw Travis Scott a birthday party, and at the birthday party there was a tattoo station, which that's kind of odd for me to think that there's a tattoo station at the birthday party. But anyways, so at the party, Travis let Kylie tattoo him, and she tattooed KJ with a heart TS. And so I immediately asked Adam, would you ever let me tattoo you? And his answer was?
Hell no.
Exactly.
In a million years. I don't know how much money somebody would have to pay me to allow you to tattoo me. I don't even understand the figure of money that would be required. Okay,
well, after 19 years together, would you at least pay a professional to put my initials on you?
Well, these are two separate questions here. I wasn't briefed on the second part of this. I was only briefed on that Post-it note there, which was asking me if I would ever allow you to permanently etch something onto my body. The answer is no. Would I ever tattoo something of you, your name, your initials? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, something that reminds you of me.
I'm not objectionable to doing things of that nature. I think some people do it way too early in their lives and relationships. And obviously that becomes problematic later on when every, person you have to date from here on out has to be named like, Jennifer because you decided to put that on your arm. But I'm not opposed to some form of that happening. Okay. You just can't do it. There's not a chance in hell.
Okay. Well,
how about you?
I'm not letting you tattoo me.
Why not?
Same reason you won't let me tattoo you.
But if so, all right, are we putting this on the poll here?
Because everything
let's just put it on the poll real quick before you start. Like, if pick any person that we know, and they had to choose between letting me tattoo them and letting you tattoo them, I would hope I would win that conversation.
Oh wow! Should we talk about how, like, when you tried to build the shelf for Addison, you put the shelves in backwards?
That happens. How does that relate to tattooing?
Well, just things that you try and do.
Sure.
You add a lot of force and usually end up breaking them.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. I guess that's something we could talk through.
So.
We certainly could. Can we also talk about how your loving daughter asked you 3 times this week to make her chicken parmesan, and all 3 times you somehow forgot to do it, and yet we're gonna put a tattoo needle in somebody? That's fine. No, that makes sense. I'm good with that.
I didn't say that I should have that kind of.
I'm just saying, if someone had to choose between Addison's, again, she does every Sunday as we do this, she gets on the glass here. Addison, if you had to pick one of us to give you a tattoo, would you pick me or mommy? No, fake one. Yes, a real tattoo. If for some reason you were old enough to get a real tattoo, which you're never going to be, by the way, who would you elect to put a tattoo on you, me or mommy? And she's pointing to me. You're welcome.
Ouch. I'm the one who, like, if you're bleeding, takes care of you.
How often are you bleeding? How often is she bleeding?
Oh, her brother bleeds a lot. He falls down a lot.
She falls down more than he does. But anytime someone sprains an ankle or something around here, or jams a finger, we got to call Dad. Dad comes in with the ice pack. Dad comes in to wrap the ankle.
I guess that's true.
So, I mean, let's just... So this is what she does, Addison.
Blood or throw up is me.
Yes, blood, throw up, or feces is you. Broken bones or anything sports injury related is me. Here's what your mother does, Addison. She always just says, I always take care of it. And she makes like a blanket statement. And then it's actually not really true when you think about it. You know this, though. You're here for something? Okay.
Huh?
Okay. Addison has finished Charlotte's Web, everybody.
It's because she needs her AR points.
You need AR points for that, so she's finished Charlotte's Web. So, okay, well, thanks for stopping by, Addison. We appreciate you for coming in. You cannot tattoo me in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
But anyway, your questions don't stop there. You have a list of other things. Again, that research is strong. Of other things that you want to know if you can do to me.
Yeah. So if I can't tattoo you, I want to know, like, where is that level of what I can do? Okay. So I'm going to ask you a few things.
Okay.
And you can say yes or no.
Okay.
As to if you would allow me to do these things.
Okay. None ya.
Ready. Cut your toenails.
Sure.
I think I've already done
risk.
that.
Yeah, that's low. And I had that one that fell off.
Oh, gross.
Well, it's because you wanted to cut it because you're like, oh my God, let me cut that, because you saw the ability to maybe inflict pain on somebody, which is your thing. So yes, sure, cut my toenails. That's fine.
Okay. Shave your face.
With what?
A razor.
What kind of razor?
Like a, what do you call those? Handheld?
No. Well, the electric?
Not electric.
No.
Oh, you're not going to let me shave your face?
No, because the hair grows in different directions. There's scraping.
Have I never shaved your face before?
No.
19 years, I've never shaved
Why would you
face.
shave my face?
I don't know. Were you ever, like, at the point where you couldn't shave your own face?
Yes, I was. I had that dark period of my life where I wasn't allowed to shave my own face.
I was thinking when you were in the hospital with MRSA and...
I just went unshaved. It wasn't like I needed to... No, the electric razor, sure. That's very foolproof. I think you can... But you got to go against the grain. You got the mustache area. You got the chin situation. Not that I shave that much anyway, but if I did, it won't be at your hands.
Because I would let you shave my legs. Not that you ever want.
I'm not. Yeah, am I offering? Am I supposed to offer at this point? Yeah.
All right. Well, we see where we're different in one area.
Yeah.
Can I pierce your ear?
Well, I mean, I have had my ear. I do still have my ears pierced. I believe I could.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
I could probably put an earring in those. I feel like that's low risk. Because if I remember correctly, you went to the Claire's, they put that little stuff on your ear. It was just a little gun.
I don't have the gun, so...
I know. Well, so I need the gun. You're not going like needle, ice cube situation here. But if you had the official, like, even then, though, you gotta aim that thing just right. And I have a true story. I've actually had 2 earrings ripped out of the back of my ear due to infections.
Not from me. I didn't rip them.
No, you did not. I'm sure you would have. And those hurt, by the way.
Well,
Get
I
an
can
earring
imagine.
ripped out of the back of your ear. I was in high school, and I begged my mom to let me get an earring, and she did. And because I went to a Catholic school, you couldn't wear earrings to school, which I assume is still the rule in most schools. I don't know, actually.
I don't know.
And the boys wear earrings to school? In Addison school?
I think they can.
Okay. Well, anyway, in my school, you could not. So you can only get your ears pierced over the summer because they had to be in for, 3 months or something to form or whatnot. So I begged her to let me get an ear piercing. I did. And right at the end of summer, it swelled up literally so that you couldn't see the diamond on the front of the earring. That's how much it swelled. And so I went to the emergency room, and the doctor was like, yeah, we're going to have to look at something here, and just rip that thing right out the back.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt.
I cannot even imagine.
So I've had that happen. So I feel like I could do that again. So I might again, if you have the gun, I would need to make sure that you've got it lined up appropriately. If you've done all those things, it's a hard maybe.
Okay. I'll take it. Okay, can I cut your hair?
In its current state?
Yes.
No.
If you just wanted to shave your head.
Yeah. So for some reason I was just going to shave my head again, with an electric situation, I would probably allow that to take place.
Okay.
Now, if my normal hairstyle was shaved such as that, I would probably allow you involved. Now, if you got to get the Bic out and the straight razor, then that's not going to be, well, that actually might not be so bad. It's hard to tell because it'd really be hard to, I mean, I've never had to shave my own head. I feel like it might be a challenge.
Yeah. And oh my goodness, your scalp would be white. You look funny like that.
Thank you. Speaking of not aging, well, go
ahead. Last one. If your finger was dislocated, can I pop it back into place?
Hey, well, that's so I've had that happen multiple times, obviously. It doesn't take a lot of medical training to pop a finger back in. I don't think it's pretty self-explanatory, which leads me to think that it could probably be done by just about anybody within reason, right?
Have you ever popped your own finger back into place?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
The worst one, this one that I'm holding up here, this one I had to actually go to an ER for because it was like a stair step, right? Sometimes they're just kind of side to side. So if I was in pain and I needed to pop back in, and you were the only person available, I just don't actually no is probably the answer because I don't trust that you could get it like undone. I feel like you try and like wouldn't. Like, oh, I didn't get it. And then I'd be like, great, I'm just over here writhing in pain. And while you're like trying, you can't open a Gatorade bottle. Like, I have a feeling you'd have a hard time putting my finger back in place.
Yeah, actually, I don't want to put your finger back in
Nonsense.
place.
Oh, nonsense. I'm not falling for that.
Oh, no.
There's
I don't
nothing
think
you
I could
love
do
more
that.
than to inflict pain on somebody.
That is not
That is so true. When Addison has a hangnail, or when Aiden has a splinter, or when someone's got a pimple, you're like, let me just get it. Let me just get it. Let me just get it. Like, you'd love doing that. Like, you'd see my finger and be like, I'll just pull it back in. Just really quick. I'll just pop it back in. It'll be fine. It'll feel better when I pop it back in.
That's to take pain away. Like, I enjoy helping people feel better, not inflicting pain.
Sure.
That's the truth.
I don't believe it. Well, what of those? So can I borrow this
Sure.
vast page of research? Yeah, here. Let me see if I can know. Oh wow. Well, some of these are awkward, but so would you let me cut your toenails?
Yes.
Would you let me paint your nails?
Yes. I would like you to do that, actually.
I can't wait.
Did you not help me paint them when I was pregnant?
God, I doesn't seem like something I would do.
I know I couldn't bend over to do it. Maybe they.
I'm talking your fingernails,
Oh, sure.
where people can see those.
Do I have to be seen out in public with them?
Well, with your vast social calendar, I mean, you're out all the time, right? Like you got that fitness. What are you, a trainer? I think we said one of the last shows, right? You got to be out amongst the people.
Okay, I would let you.
And that cougar shirt you somehow got.
I like my family fit shirt.
Looks like a cougar. Okay. Shave your face seems cruel. I won't ask that question, but
shave my legs.
Piercing in the ear?
Probably not.
Oh, why not?
Because I don't trust that you're gonna do it right.
I guess I hasten to understand how it goes wrong, but I guess it's possible. I don't plan on that.
There would definitely need to be the gun.
Yes. No. Yeah. We're not doing a ice cube needle situation. That's not going to work.
Okay.
Cutting hair.
I think if we're just cutting straight across, yes.
Really?
Yeah. Not today.
No, I don't. I actually don't want any part of that. I don't want popping a finger or some sort of a joint back into place.
So I think I would actually trust you to do this.
Yeah, that's up my alley right there.
Mainly because you have had many dislocated fingers.
I've got experience in that.
And you have experience in that.
Do you think it's interesting? I know a bunch of people who listen to the show are in relationships, many long-term relationships. I'm curious how many people out there would allow their significant other to do some of these things for them or to them.
I'd allow you to pluck my eyebrows.
I wouldn't want to. Actually, I might. Does that hurt?
No, not really.
I might. Well, yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
I can't think of anything else I'd allow you to do.
Great. Trust me, I'm aware of the things that I'm allowed to do and not do.
My dad and mom tell you what to do. Good luck with that.
All right, so we got a good old-fashioned family debate here. As you may have heard from previous episodes, Stephanie is an esteemed faculty educator. She's teaching future teachers. She is at the forefront of her field.
That's not true.
And is just world-renowned for her ability to give instructional educations, right?
That's going a little far. However,
I was just trying to brag on you, babe.
Yeah, right.
Just trying to brag
I
a
do
little bit
teach
about
future
you.
teachers. We'll leave it at that.
And so our little guy, he had a substitute teacher this week. So let me just start by saying I feel badly for any teacher that has our children in their class. Because all Stephanie does is judge them like all day long. What they did, what they didn't do, what they should have done, what they didn't hand out, what they should have handed out, how they should have done something. So if you're a teacher that has had either of my children in your class, A, I'm sorry. And B, just know that you're getting judged every single solitary day. But
that's not true. Like his kindergarten teacher, it was her first year teaching, and I did not have one single problem with her.
Is that right?
Kindergarten.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
That's correct. You had no issues?
I can't remember any.
Oh, I'll get a list for you. You just judged her right there. It was her first year teaching. That's a judgment right there.
Well, that was just a fact.
But it's a judgmental fact.
Okay.
How long you've been teaching shouldn't matter in terms of how our child's being educated, right?
Okay.
So just know you're being judged. And so this is not only extend to the regular teachers. Little Aiden had a substitute this week. The regular teacher was out sick. It happens. We hope she's okay. But he had a substitute. And so Stephanie came upon some information that just sent her. I guess I'll let you describe how you felt about it how you found out, how you felt about it, and how what your reaction was to that.
Okay, so Aiden, I pick him up from school in the afternoons, and as we're walking to the car, he told me that the substitute had two lists on the board. One was a bad list, and one was a good list. And that if your name was on the bad side, you were the bad apple, aka the rotten apple, is what she called them. And if you were on the good side, you were the good apple. And I said, well, what side were you on? He's like, actually, I wasn't on either side. I was a medium, so my name wasn't on the board. I was like, okay, I guess that's good. But Aiden proceeded to tell me about all the children who were on the rotten apple side. And I was frustrated because no child should be told that they're a rotten apple or a bad apple. And so I came home and I told Adam, and his response was, it's no big deal. Like, I was like ready to go tell the school, like, this substitute needs more training. And he was like, hold your horses, relax.
I did not say hold your horses.
Okay.
Well, not something
what's one of those new terms we learned? We could put in place there.
Chill. I don't know. Chillax. I don't know what it was, but it was certainly not hold your horses. But maybe slow your roll. You know what that means?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, I can't use that anymore.
So Adam was like, no, like, who cares? If they're bad kids, they should know they're bad kids. And that's pretty much against everything that we've ever been taught as teachers to do with children.
Yeah. I'm sure that, look, there's research, I'm sure that says that, positive reinforcement is a good thing for a child and a young, impressionable mind, right? I assume that's where we're going with that.
Yes.
But like, how else do you tell the kid that they're bad? Like, you can literally never tell a kid, hey, you acted bad today.
I think there's a specific way to say it, but more you want to say what you would prefer the child do. Like,
hey, Johnny, don't bite somebody's ear. Like, that's what I need to do. Other than Johnny, you're not supposed to bite someone's ear, right? Like, I just can't tell Johnny. That's the bad thing to do. Johnny is biting ears. We don't like that here. Don't do that anymore, Johnny. Johnny, you know what? It really makes us upset when you bite people's ears. Like, we just can't be like upfront and tell somebody like they did a bad thing.
Not really. Instead, we would say we keep our hands, feet, and
people
mouth
at my work don't know this. Can you come to my workplace and train everybody? Because they're not aware of this new fact. This is news to me. So continue. Sorry.
We keep our hands, feet, and mouths to ourselves.
They don't know that rule.
If a child is running, you don't say stop running. You say, please use walking feet. You
Why?
always go with the positive. Because
The positive of stop running? There's a positive to
if
that?
a child is constantly being told no and stop, it affects them mentally. And they end up thinking that, like, they can't do anything right and that they're, like,
So
they just have low self-esteem then.
Why don't law enforcement officers say, drive with sober hands instead of pull over your drunk? Like, why don't we do it that way then?
I don't know. They haven't been trained like teachers have.
Wow. So like if a kid's, I'm legit serious. If a kid's running, you can't be like, hey, stop running. You can hurt yourself.
Well, you can, but we're taught to try and do the opposite and say, use your walking feet.
Wow. Does that work? I can't think that works.
So like when I was a teacher, if there was a bunch of kids talking, what I would do instead of telling them to stop talking, I would comment on the kids who were doing what they were supposed to. Like, Sammy, great job having listening ears, or they were in kindergarten. I really like how Addison is standing in line quietly with her hands by her side. And so when you're saying all those positive things about the children, the children who aren't doing those things they want that comment and that positive feedback, so they start to do it.
And you've seen this happen in real life.
Yes.
You've seen the kid who's just running around like putting glue in everybody's hair. When you're like, Jimmy, you're really not supposed to glue the hair. Whatever it is that you say to not putting glue in somebody's hair. And you're calling on all the people who've done a nice job not gluing their hair. Jimmy's like, oh, well, I want to be that person too. And Jimmy just stops gluing the hair.
No, there's always going to be one or two exceptions. Because there are, not every child can be reached that way. But that is what you try to do.
Look, I'm all for the one thing I do agree with is you shouldn't shame other kids to other kids, right? Like putting a list of names on the board and say these are the worst kids in class for other kids to see it. I think that is wrong. You should not shame.
Well, that's what the substitute did.
Well, but yes, that's what I think that premise is wrong. But what you said is like you're not supposed to tell a kid they were bad, and that I don't understand. Because
at least if you're going to tell a kid that he's bad, you do it personally, one-on-one, not in front of the whole class.
So can I? Let me just put you on the spot here. I assume that with all of your vast education and all the training that you've both received and now delivered, that you probably follow those same practices at home. Is that right?
I try to.
So earlier, I'm just curious. I thought I heard this conversation where you told Addison she was lazy.
I don't know. I said out loud to you she was lazy. I didn't say it to her.
You've never called her lazy? You didn't call her lazy today? You didn't tell her to get off the couch, stop being lazy?
I don't think I called her lazy.
Sure you did.
But so when she's not putting her Invisalign in, I say, can you please put your Invisalign in? Not, you didn't put your Invisalign in.
You don't say that second part? You're like, you know what? Let's have happy teeth. That's not what we do.
I always try for the positive first. And then if she says no or just doesn't listen, then I usually end up going to the negative. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it.
Sure.
But I try and say like
I feel like if our kids are misbehaving, I'm okay with the teacher being like, Aiden, you were bad.
Yes, to him.
Your behavior
she doesn't
was
need
bad
to
today.
Say it in front of the whole class.
Well, if he did something that like if he's jumping up and down on the desks, right, in the middle of class, and the teacher's like, I'm okay with her being like, Aiden, stop jumping up and down on the tables in class. Like, I'm okay with her like reprimanding him in front of everybody because his behavior isn't impacting everybody. Ergo, he should be reprimanded in front of everybody.
Well, and I get like if the teacher says like, go move your clip to yellow because you were jumping on the desk. Yeah, the whole class is going to see that. I get that. I just don't think that it needs to be like kept on the board under rotten apples or bad apples where like the color chart is more like you've made a choice to not behave and you're working towards getting it fixed. Well, he had that same substitute a second day and he was very excited that he was on the good apple side instead of the medium, which was no name on the board.
Right.
So, I mean, there's also the point. Like, I would have been fine if she said, I'm going to list these students' names who are doing a great job today on the board. And only the good listeners were on there. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that I like the bad, rotten.
Yeah, again, I think that was done in poor taste, no pun intended. And I don't want to. I don't think you should shame kids in that respect. But I also think that if the kid was bad, like, and you need to call the kid bad, you should call the guy. I'm not objecting to that element of it, right? I'm objecting to the fact that you were like, well, no, you don't tell kids they did bad anymore. You don't tell kids that they misbehaved. You tell them that, you know, your behavior was less than optimal today versus like, hey, you were a real jerk today, buddy.
Well,
like, that's not how that works.
You want to work, like, when you're talking to them, you want to discuss with them, like, how can we make this better? Like, how can we change it so that we're not on yellow?
Are we
red?
setting ourselves up for failure, though, with that? Because, like, again, in my workplace, no one's like, hey, Adam, that presentation was less than great. Like, it's like, hey, that sucked. Or, hey, you know, that's the wrong answer. Like, at some point, like, you get to the real life, like, the real world, people don't follow those same rules. Like, is that setting our children up for some sort of failure?
I guess it could be. It's just like most people don't spank their children anymore. Like,
That's true.
I was spanked, and I feel like I turned out pretty well.
That's different, though. I think there's a physical, violent element to spanking that perhaps is a bit stigmatized. But in terms of, you know, being like, everything's got to be positive at all times. Like, I understand the sandwich method of feedback, right? I get all that, which is, you know, give him some positive, give him the negative, give him some positive again. I guess I'm okay with that. But I feel like at some point, like, if the kid is misbehaving, he should know he's misbehaving.
I agree. In some children, though, it depends on the child. In some children, they literally cannot control themselves. And it's not that they don't want to behave. It's that they struggle to control their body to behave and their mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I could go on and on about that.
And nor do I want you to. But I do want to get to the prologue to the story, which is, so this happens. I forget what day this was. It was like Wednesday. I don't know. And, you know, you were like, can you believe what the teacher did today? And we had this conversation. And then the next day, what did you do? You went back to the school, same substitute. You're waiting outside the classroom for a little.
Oh, I asked another parent.
Asked another parent?
Yeah, I said, did this child tell you that this is what the substitute did?
Yeah.
And
why'd you ask that question?
Because
again?
I wasn't sure if Aiden was telling me the truth.
Okay.
And she did not know about it. And
okay.
She happens to be a former teacher as
well. Oh, here we go. So one might say you were inciting this lady to have a reaction, right?
No, I just wanted to see, like, what, like, was I overreacting to this? And what did it really happen?
Okay, and what happened next?
The child had not told his mother.
Okay.
And the mother was not happy about it.
Right.
And she was like, well, was my child on the bad list? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like,
always start in trouble.
But I didn't know if her child was on the list.
So
then she went up to the window and looked through to see if the list was there. I don't know what she saw. I didn't ask her. But, and I said, let me know if Noah tells you a different story.
I think you were trying to incite a bit of a, get some support on your side for having a conversation. So you're not confrontational by any stretch, but you are certainly like mob mentality. Like, if everybody's like doing it, you also want to do it too, but you're not one to be like the leader of confrontation. You're like, you need someone else to kind of take up that charge.
Sure.
So I suspect you were pitchforking this lady to see if she could go in there and be like, you know what? I didn't think that was right. Then you'd be like, well, yeah, me either. I secretly think that's what you're trying to do.
Well, see, like, I wouldn't have gone to our child's teacher because it's not her fault. Like, she can't control who the substitute is.
Right.
And I wouldn't have gone up to the substitute because she would have, like, no understanding. Who I would have gone to is the principal and said,
we're going to the principal, everybody. Let's get to the principal.
This is what is happening in the classrooms when the substitute is here. Like, maybe she needs to be retrained or trained.
Would you offer to do the retraining?
I don't think I'm allowed. But
shucks.
Sure, I have no problem doing that.
Okay. Yeah, I just think you're very thorough with our children's teachers, and it's always interesting how that works. And I think
just to be clear, I did not even tell our child's teacher that I was a teacher until like November.
This year or
this year?
Every year?
I usually don't like say like, hey.
Oh,
like,
no, come on. So here's what you do. This is great. I'm glad you did this. Here's what you do, right? You don't say you're a teacher, but you'll be like, okay. And like parent teacher conferences or outside of the school, you'll be like, hey, how did Aiden do today? Or, how was Addison's test? Yada, yada. And then you drop in some like specific teacher lingo to let them know that you know. You're like, well, I mean, it's not like Piaget or something, right? And you do that specifically so that they're like, oh, and like you'll do it a couple different times, and if they don't pick up on it, then that's when you're like, oh, well, I know because I actually used to be in the classroom for a couple years myself, and so I do know that sometimes the handouts, like you wait to see if they'll say something to you by like dropping in like, Houghton Mifflin really doesn't do a lot with textbooks these days, and just to see if you get a reaction out of them.
The way you pronounce things are funny. Piaget,
whatever. Yeah.
Houghton Mifflin.
Houghton Mifflin, is that wrong?
I think it's Houghton Mifflin.
Is it Houghton? Check that. Fact check that for a second. But true or false? You do or do not do that?
I guess I do that a little bit. This year, it was his teacher said, like, "What do you do?" And I told her.
Okay, and you told her what?
I said that I was an online teacher, and she said, "An online teacher for what?" And I said, "Future teachers," and she said, "Future, like what age group future teachers?" And I said, "Early childhood."
I think it might be Houghton.
Houghton Mifflin.
I think it might be Houghton. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to get. See, no, that's my fault. I didn't mean to disparage your.
Piaget.
But you do that all the time, and you try to be so slick with it, like, yeah, the handouts didn't come. I mean, I noticed that you're not doing the reverse, vocabulary anymore. I know that was big, a few years back, and you're hoping they take the bait, and some of them do, most of them don't, and that requires you to then kind of go into, which is weird because I never tell anybody what I do ever. Like, I never have occasion to be like,
you never have to use that for your children's education.
I could, I can interview the heck out of the kids,
but I meant the teachers.
I could interview the heck out of the kids. Or the teachers. I can winkle under some teachers if I'm needed to. That's there's no problem with that. But I never have an occasion where I want to sit around and tell people what it is I do for a living. But you seem to want to do that. Addison, is it embarrassing? Addison's in the room again, of course. Addison, are you embarrassed at all that mommy often tries to tell your teacher how to do things and let your teacher know that she was a teacher?
Yes.
Have I done that this year with Miss Hunt?
No, but let's say we're going on a field trip, or you want to go help in the classroom. You'll say, "I was a teacher for this many years."
I do not do that.
Why would she make that up?
I don't say I was a teacher for 10 years. I'll say
yes. You say I was a teacher for 10 years in kindergarten, second.
Mm-hmm.
I do not say all
when
that.
When you emailed my principal, you said I was a teacher.
Here we go. I love when the fact. Wait. Hashtag.
That was because.
You know what this is? Big facts. Continue.
That was because the child had threatened to commit suicide, and so not my child, by the way.
I understand.
And so I emailed her saying, as a teacher, I am
how about as a human? I'm upset about this.
No, it wasn't that I was upset. It was that that's part of the law. You have to, if you have that information, you have to share it. Right.
But I mean, I'm not actually. I used to be a teacher. I'm not a teacher, but I also know that's part of the law, right? So I wouldn't have written in there hey, I could have done the same thing and left that part up. Addison, thanks for your time as always.
I was just saying that
you've done.
I was not sure that this is something that was really happening, but that because I am obligated to do this, this is why I'm.
You are obligated now?
Yes, even.
Did you take an oath? Do you have an oath I don't know about?
Kind of.
It's
part of the code of ethics.
Do you have an active teacher's license?
I do.
For the state of California?
In California and Florida.
So even though you don't teach, you have so by the oath of that teaching license, you're bound to correct any teaching injustice that you see. Is that how that works?
Well, when it comes to a child threatening to hurt themselves, yes.
But and again, as a human, you could have just done that.
Yes.
Did you take an oath? Is there an oath? I need to know if there's an oath.
There's a code of ethics that you sign.
You signed a code of ethics?
For my job, yes.
For which job?
Well, actually, both of them. But
okay. But is that binding to all educational facilities worldwide?
Probably not.
Okay. Hey, look, I applaud you for doing your part. I'm sure you're doing it well. In some respects,
as you're making fun of me.
Why is this making fun of you? See, you take all these.
You've been making fun of me for 10 minutes.
I'm just trying to get the facts. So here's the you refuse to listen to the facts, and the problem is as Addison gets older here, she also sees the truth, and so now I'm super excited because I actually have somebody that can corroborate all the things I tell people about you that they don't believe. I have a little fact checker here that can corroborate that. Aiden's getting older too. We're gonna be 3-on-1 soon. You know about it.
I'm just stopping there.
This show is almost over. Great. Now I have to talk to my parents.
I don't know if we've done much better than last week.
I think we did.
Do you think so? I don't know. I'm not convinced yet. Like, well, you're gonna get me double the downloads, so I guess this will be big.
Yeah, help me out, guys, so we can go on vacation.
Yeah, that's what. As you can tell, Stephanie's got a really stressful life of narking out every teacher that works in the greater California area. So she certainly needs that vacation. So help her get to her vacation spot. Can you prioritize for me where these spots are, just so I have them in my head?
We were talking about South or North Carolina. Florida, Hawaii, Cabo now.
Is that an order of desire?
Oh, desire is Hawaii.
Hawaii, okay. Jimmy was telling me it's expensive in Hawaii.
I know. My friend Kristen told me
the
that
flights
too.
are, whatever, and the hotels, whatever, but it's all the excursional type stuff that's going to cost you some coin.
I know. That's why it's like a once in a lifetime thing.
Well, sure, but it's also once in a lifetime financial donation to the greater Hawaiian Islands that we have to be aware of. So
it's true.
Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
If you don't mind. So we still, I guess we'll keep updating people on our vacation status.
Sounds good. We'll let them know if we got the double downloads.
I guess they'll know, right? I'm sure you'll be celebrating the vacation stuff. Well, again, a couple of things just timing wise, we have to get worked out. And if those things work themselves out, then I'm open to that. The diet challenge, I guess we'll keep people updated on that.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I'm still hungry.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on, I don't find myself hungry as much. It's more, we've talked about this earlier. It's more just like, we're looking out the window right now as we record this. It's a bright, beautiful, sunny, shining day. Nothing really going on right now. It'd be a nice day to be outside. It's Cinco de Mayo. Don't say Cinco de Drinko. It's Cinco de Mayo, and everyone's... You don't have a phrase, by the way, that people say that just annoys you?
Not very much annoys me.
That's not
Except
true.
for teachers.
See, there we go. That's... Really? Well, no, that's not true. Like, messiness annoys you. People who don't clean up, like, after themselves annoy you. Like,
I guess.
Like, I don't like anything that's mainstream. You know what I mean? Like, anything that, like, people do all the time that they think is funny, I have a huge problem with that.
Yes, you like to be unique.
I don't want to be unique. Like, I'm okay, like, liking what everybody else likes, but anyway, it'd be a nice day to be outside, nice little cold Corona, lime in there, that'd be great. Great. Do we have Corona, by the way, in the fridge? We don't, do we?
We don't.
Be a great little Sunday,
Yeah, but you're not supposed to drink beer today.
I know. That's the problem, right? But I look outside, like Monday through Friday. I mean, my life's a bleep hole, so I understand what that is. But a nice Saturday and Sunday, the sun's out. Birds are chirping. The clouds are gone. A little wind, a nice little breeze in the air.
I agree. I'm still making tacos today, at least. They're just lettuce wrapped.
Yeah, they are tacos. Lettuce wrapped tacos for sure. All right, so I guess we tell them goodbye at this point. Anything else you want to add in, Steph?
No, we'll keep you updated next week.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll see if we keep doing these things. I'm not so sure. I don't feel good about this one either.
Oh boy, here we go.
All the research you had, though, I felt better about, but Yeah,
I was prepared and planned today.
We need a guest. All right, so help us out here. I think we need guests on the show. Stephanie's anti-guests. She doesn't want to have anybody else on the show. I think it'd be interesting to start talking to people and asking them questions and learning about them. Maybe people we know, people we don't know. I don't think we're gonna get famous people, but maybe it'd be interesting to have people to talk to.
Yeah, maybe we could bring UCF Mike on from your other podcast just to get us started.
I mean, Mike's a great follow. Not sure how many other. Well, I mean, if you want to hear me and Mike talk, and you, by the way, you can just listen to the Sons of UCF show.
That's true.
New show this Wednesday, special guest. So I don't know that would work.
Okay.
We do have. So we have an in studio guest coming soon, maybe, right?
Maybe she doesn't really want to be a guest though.
Well, I mean,
for the podcast, she wants to be a guest in our house.
Sure. So we might have our first. Our first guest. My sister, I think, volunteered once to come on. I don't know what she's going to bring to the table.
She could tell us a lot about you growing up. That could be fun.
But there's not much to tell. I mean, just, I don't know. Angelic, I guess, would be the way I would describe that.
I don't think she's going to agree with you on that.
I don't know that she wouldn't.
Well, compared to her.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I think, in all fairness, I think I win that one. Help us out. I don't know. We need something here. Until then, goodbye.
Bye.